Hello and welcome to my first video. My name is Kate and I'm living in New Hampshire, and I am calling this a FlossTube video slash yarn podcast because I don't really do enough cross stitch to justify a separate channel of it and do yarn, and I don't finish yarn projects fast enough to justify my own yarn podcast. So you get two in one. Hopefully this format works. We can always change it later, but yeah, welcome to my first episode, and we're gonna play with this. I'm gonna try to do minimal editing, so if the video is a little bit weird, it is what it is. I want this to be as low maintenance as possible, so that way I will stick with it. This is Daisy, my co-host. She will probably be in and out, although right now we're cuddling because we're mad that Mom put us in the kennel and then left. Yeah, she's my life, so hopefully she'll make more appearances and I can show you some of the cute projects that I have made for her in the past, and maybe she'll get a new Christmas sweater or something this year. That would be good. She doesn't have much hair on her belly and it gets very cold here, so she does need to dress up to keep warm. And I know it's kind of hard to find good clothing for larger dogs, so hopefully I can do like a tutorial video on how I made her last sweater, and that'll help some other people out that have larger dogs that they need to keep warm as well. So yeah, I didn't really plan this out today. This kind of just happened. So maybe next time I will have like show notes and a plan, but this is what we're working with today. So hi, you want belly rubs? Okay. It's all about the belly. That's what we do. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna start with cross stitch first. That's kind of what's been on my brain the most recently. So what I'm working on right now, can Mom have two hands back? Can we not? Okay. Alright. What I have been working on, or go over there. That works too. Okay, puppy. So what I have been working on recently, this is an unknown fabric. I know I bought this fabric probably in 2014, and I know that because there's very, very fine black dog hair all over this, and that is my other dog who's currently living with my mother, and she picked him up from our apartment in October 2014. No, 2013. October 2013. So anyways, yeah, I bought this a long time ago. I think it's in Ada. I know I got it from Joann Fabrics. I'm thinking it's 18 count Ada. I could get out a ruler and measure, but I'm lazy and it's working. So this is what I'm working on. This is Julbocken by Modern Folk. I found it on Etsy. I was looking for kind of a cute holiday stitch. I don't Christmas. I'm neo-pagan, so I Yule. So it's kind of hard to find less overtly Christmas designs. At least I haven't dug around enough to find some really good ones that appeal to me, that aren't too complicated, and I kind of wanted something that I could do really quickly. Since I'm new to cross stitch, I've only really been cross stitching significantly since July of this year. So yeah, I don't really know how long it takes me to finish anything, and this pattern was really simple. I will try to get a picture of it inserted somehow. Pretty sure I can do that. If not, I will leave a link down in the description box. But it's just like a little sampler design. This is the top border of it. And then there is a goat. It's a Norse thing to have a Yule goat. And then it has kind of a block of stitching similar to Quaker, but it's like a traditional Norwegian type design. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a second row of this border after the goat and put the words Welcome Yule, and then have the design block. As you can see, I did not plan this out very well. There is all kinds of space on this fabric. There's some old stitching from another project that I was working on back in 2013, and I know what that project was. It's not going to happen, but I know what that project was. That was something I had tried some stitching, and I didn't realize you're supposed to really leave a significant amount of fabric for finishing and framing. But yeah, I didn't really plan this out. I just kind of started, and that's what's happening. So hopefully in the next like week I can get this done and finished. I'm hoping to make kind of a ornament hanging for our front door. If not, I'll put my wreath out, but I've used that the last 2 years, so I was kind of hoping for something new. But yeah, this old thing, if you can see, very close to the edge. This is, I know it's 2 strands, which now looking at it looks very ridiculous because you can barely even see the individual stitches. And this was a design that I had charted myself on PC Stitch. And it's a really cool picture, but I didn't realize at the time how to work with PC Stitch as well, and do like photo editing contrast to make sure that it's going to pick up all the colors it's supposed to. And it's an image that I've since fallen out of love with, but it's like a Grim Reaper skeleton with like the full hood skull, and its hand is holding the dead man's hand and cards, and it's a really cool picture, but I need to find probably bigger cloth if we're gonna do that, and I'm not really ready for a large marathon full coverage, essentially a homemade Haid style cross stitch. So anyways, this one I am using some colors. I just kind of grabbed colors that were in my stash. I'm using 3,363. And then I have bright red, no, regular red, DMC regular red, and a gold color that I'm going to be stitching this piece in. The original piece, it's just one color, but I thought it would make it a little bit extra Christmassy to have some green in there, and then the goat's ribbon is going to be gold. Yeah, so that's the first thing that I'm majorly working on right now. The next thing that I am majorly working on, this kind of just happened. So I got into cross stitch in July. I found a FlossTube video and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I want to stitch all the things. And I picked something that for me was probably not the best thing to start with. And I have that and I can show you and explain in a minute. But I got really frustrated because I was doing this full coverage thing with a lot of confetti due to the rendering on the image and the amount of dither that's in the image. So I got discouraged after about a month and I said, screw it, put it away. And then about a month ago, I was like, I really want to stitch, but I don't want to work on this piece. Like, my brain's just not feeling it. I'm gonna look, and I found on 123 Stitch some pattern that had a sheep and it was really cute, but I was like, they don't have a PDF version and I want to start this now. So I was looking around on Etsy and I was like, okay, sheep cross stitch. So I found this thing that's really cute, and it has sheep and it has Amish quilts, which scratches an itch for some reason for me. And yeah, so this is what I am working on right now. This is To Everything There Is a Season. It's by Jericho Crossing. I found it on Etsy. I'm not sure of the seller's store. And it's like a whole booklet with a bunch of different sheep, kind of Amish or like Little House on the Prairie inspired images. And it has Bible quotes, but I'm going to switch those out because I don't do that. So this is To Everything There's a Season with said Bible quote, but I'm going to switch it out for 'Tis the Season and then Spring, Summer, Winter, Fall, or Spring, Summer, Fall, Winter, because it's kind of themed like that. Like the first image is the lady's planting seeds, and then you can see like she has things growing, she's harvesting, and then there's winter, she's putting up a wreath, it's really cute, and there's sheep, and it's like Little House on the Prairie, and I love it. And it's not full coverage, so that was a really good choice. This is on even weave, just neutral, what I found at Joann's, 28 count, and I'm doing it 1/1 on 28. At least I believe this is 28. This looks like 28. Pretty sure it's 28 because that's what I've been on recently. And I know it's even weave. But yeah, so I did a little bit better placing this image. Has kind of more of an appropriate border. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the cloth yet. It's very long and not very wide. But it doesn't use a lot of colors and it's not full coverage. And at the time it was kind of hitting all of the things that I was looking for. So I like it, and we're going to do that. And I'm going to put it away because it's not quite on the priority list. I have two projects. The Yule Goat is a priority, but there is a higher priority in knitting that I will talk about in a little bit. Everything's all over the place because we didn't plan this. We just kind of put things, and there's a sleeping puppy on top of stuff. But that is okay. So, the first thing that I kind of, sorry for the crinkles, started on, is, which direction is it going? This way it goes. It's this thing. It's kind of hard to see. It's a picture called The Kraken, and I found it on Etsy. I'm not sure who the author is, or the designer is right now. I will figure that out and let you all know. And it's really cute. It's issues with the lighting today. Sorry. We'll work on that. But you can see the first little tentacle. That's kind of cool. It's like a octopusy thing coming up, holding a ship, and kind of lens flare sunset in like sepia tones. It's really pretty. So basically I found FlossTube and was like, I want to cross stitch, and I found this, and and I don't think I will ever grid like this again because I'm not actually sure if it'll wash out. I didn't test it. This is 14 count Ada, and this was my first attempt at parking. I need to practice that a lot more and figure out what to do at the back because it's very dense. That's the back, and I'm not sure if I don't want to say did it right because I know that there's like lots of different ways to do stuff, but I don't feel that I'm carrying my threads effectively, I guess. So I need to do some more practice and research. Also, this is 3/1, I guess. Yeah, it's 3. I do like the coverage a lot better this way. This is how I was first taught to cross stitch, was with 3 on Ada, a long time ago. And because I haven't really done a lot of cross stitch since I was first taught, this is just kind of how it's been. Daisy! What are you doing? Come here. Get your toy. Go get it. Go get it. Where is it? Go get it. And the camera shakes because we're not playing. Okay. It's my life. Some people have kids. I have a fur baby. It works a lot better. But anyways, yeah, so this is the Kraken, and you can see it's on PVC. I actually made my own like standing frame out of PVC. If I can find the website again, I will put a link because it was a really cool concept. The original idea was basically that it would be Q-snap dimensions, but I don't know. I don't remember my rationale for making it like full-sized to have this. I think I wanted like kind of a hybrid scroll bar thing. But yeah, this is pretty cool, and I can actually put a tutorial sometime about how I built this and show you the rest of it because it's actually really cool. And these are for securing like plastic tarp to a greenhouse. They work really good on PVC. Now if you notice, I don't have anything under here, and that's because I didn't have anything at the time and I wanted to work on it now. So I will be restarting this at some point in the future. This is going away as it is right here. If I can wash this fabric and get the blue lines off, I will probably reuse it. But I'm not happy with this, and I want to try to do it better. More in line with like how I feel it should be, I guess, than how it is right now. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm totally going to redo this because it's a really cool piece and I'd love to have it hanging on my wall, but right now I'm not up to full coverage, and this has a lot of confetti because the original image has a lot of dither. There's not a lot of colors in it, but it looks like there are because of the confetti and how it's like rendered. So yeah, this is kind of a cool piece, and I really hope to get back to it. Yeah, now that I'm looking at it, I do like it and I miss it, but that's something that needs some work. Okay, I have a couple more things cross-stitch related. So around the same time in July when I started the Kraken, I also bought a Haid pattern, and it's interesting. So I was like, oh, I can take on, you know, the world, and I really want to try a Haid. And I think that's great. But, which way does this go? This has to go this way, which is weird. So yeah, again, full coverage is a thing, and I think part of the reason I stopped liking this was because it's on 28 count and I'm stitching it 1/1, and that hurts my eyes a lot. There's floss on the back. But yeah, this is even weave mushroom, and here's the little start of my Haid. Try to do that so maybe it's not quite as, there we go. And this is the mini Melita, and again, I don't know the designer off the top of my head, so I will try to picture and all that information for you. Yeah, it's a cute little start, I guess, and I think I would also like to grid this, because I was like, we'll just kind of go for it, and I'm not sure. I wasn't really up to this. I think I would like to do a Haid on something that I can see better. I don't know. Now that I'm starting to kind of take cross-stitching more seriously, I think I need to get like those little cheater glasses or something. Excuse me. But yeah, because I stitch in a hoop right now. Excuse me, and that's what seems to work the best, because the frame that I built, when it's sitting on my lap, it's like too far away to see the 28 count. And so what I do is I sit with my hoop and I like rest it on my chest, and I take my glasses off to stitch because I can see up close. But over time that kind of like really hurts my eyes. So new glasses, cheater reading glasses maybe, or maybe I need to invest in one of those like magnifying glasses with the lights, because that would be awesome. Yeah, that might happen. But yeah, so that's kind of like where I am with cross stitch right now. I'm really enjoying it right now that I'm kind of away from the more full coverage things. I do want to go back to them, and the Melita I will be restarting as well on something else later. So that way I can see it and enjoy it. And is there anything else? Cross stitch related? Yes. Okay, so back with the 2013 Dead Man's Hand skeleton cross-stitch thing that happened. Someone, and I don't remember who right now, gifted me this book, and I love this picture of this pig because it's morbid and wonderful. And there's a lot of really cool patterns in this book that I think I would love to stitch. And so I remember I had started this pig, and this was before like I knew that you could grid. Like I thought that was like taboo, I guess. I don't know. I had no idea that that was a thing. I didn't even know FlossTube was a thing way back then. So yeah, I want to restart this and do this pig and hang him in my kitchen because that would be awesome. Yeah, 'cause he's really cool. And there's like a ton of other really cool stuff in this book. Maybe sometime we can do a flip through. I don't know if someone's already done it. I'll have to kind of dig around and see if that's a thing or not. But yeah. I don't think I would put him on an apron though. I think I would do him as a wall hanging under glass, so that way I don't have to deal with grease. But that was just, he's such a cute little guy. He's just cute and fun and murderous, and it's wonderful. So that's that. I also got all that good stuff with the crinkling. I went to Joann's and just picked up some like clothing type linen. I don't know if that's something people use or not. I don't even know if it's the same thing as like what Swigart and people have. I have no idea, but I'm gonna try stitching on it because I haven't tried stitching on any kind of linen, and I don't really want to commit to like a really nice piece of fabric from like Picture This Plus or something, and then not love it. And they were actually on sale for like 60% off all the linen today, so that was really cool. So I have 3 of them, and I think this is just, it's white linen. I have no idea what the count is, nor do I really care, but we're gonna try stitching over 2 because I've not tried that before, and I figured this would be a good thing to practice on. This is like a neutral, and this is a, yeah, it's gotta be this one. This is a linen rayon blend, which is really pretty. There's a lot of slubs in this one though, so we'll see. But yeah, it's also like just a neutral. And I just got a quarter, like a regular quarter, not a fat quarter. And I figured there's like enough of it, like this is double. There's enough of it that if it works really well, maybe I can do some like little tiny ornaments. Not for Christmas, because Christmas is really close. I didn't realize how close Christmas was until the other day. And that's a problem, because I have stuff that I need to get done. But yeah, I think it'd be fun just to play with and see, and then if that's something that works really well, awesome, because then I can go buy a couple yards for like $12, and if I want to dye it myself, I can probably do that. I'm assuming that the dye that I have will dye linen because it's essentially like a plant fiber, like cotton, and my dye dyes cotton. So if anyone has any ideas as to whether or not like Dylon or Tulip will dye linen, let me know. And I'll do some research, but I know the other stuff I have is for wool, and that won't work because that's an acid dyeing process. And when I did tie-dye t-shirts for work a couple weeks ago, that was a royal pain in the butt. And I don't enjoy dyeing on cotton, but maybe linen will be better. I don't know. We'll see. We are back. It worked. It recorded. This is awesome. We're a little bit closer because I needed the cord to reach. Our reclining chair has a freaking USB port in it. That's bizarre. I guess like everything's smart and enabled and capable now. I don't know. It's bizarre. But anyways, so yeah, we did the FlossTube thing. Now we're going to do the knitting thing. So I've been knitting for a lot longer than I've been cross-stitching. I've started with crochet. I haven't done that in a very, very long time. And I don't know. It seems more labor intensive to me, but I've also only ever really crocheted Afghans. So that's the thing. But I guess I'll start with what I'm wearing because it's like one of my only finished objects, because I collect all the projects. I never finish all the projects. So I'm kind of hoping that this platform of like interacting with people on YouTube and out in the world will kind of hold me accountable for finishing stuff. That would be really good. Sorry, a second. Okay. So what I am wearing that now you can't really see very well, but this is the Cameo, and I can't, again, think of who designed it because I didn't plan this today. It will not be this chaotic in the future, I promise. I will put like at least a little bit of like effort into planning this out. So It's a lot better, but it's awesome. It's got picots. I love picots. I know people hate picot, but I love it. This was a paid for pattern on Ravelry, and it was popular like a while ago. But anyways, I finished this, officially finished knitting it last year in October, I think it was, October or November, and then it sat for blocking and weaving in the ends because I didn't want to weave, well, okay, I wanted to wear it and enjoy it, but I didn't know where my darning needle was, and one day that magically appeared in like February, and so I actually like wove in the ends and blocked it. And yeah, so that happened, and now I can wear it and enjoy it. Yes, this is the cameo, and it's really warm. It may come off because it's really warm in my apartment. We are sandwiched between two floors, and our heat like never actually clicks on over the winter. It's set at like 68 and it's like probably 75 in here, and it stays like that, which is great because we have electric heat, so we don't have to pay for heat. But it's bad because I would rather not be wearing a tank top in December in New Hampshire. Even though it's been really nice again this week because climate change is a myth and all that. Way tangent. Back to fiber arts, knitting specifically, and all the things associated with the knitting that I do. So yeah, cameo on Ravelry, paid for pattern. This is in Knit Picks, Hawthorne, Aqua Speckle, and the gray, solid gray, is Knit Picks Kestrel, Sparkle. I know that dog hair. There's always dog hair in my life. But yeah, it's a really cool pattern. It knit up quickly. For how I knit, it knit up quickly. If I remember correctly, I did the majority, like a block of it on an airplane, which was nice. It's that kind of knitting where you can take it in the car and not have things get screwed up, because the repeat is very easy to memorize. And so once you have it down, you don't need the pattern with you, which is really great. Basically, I commute an hour each way to work and back, and so that is a large bulk of when I have time to knit. Unfortunately, right now it's in the morning only I can knit because when we're coming home it's dark. So that is what it is. But yeah, so like car-friendly projects are a thing in my life. Like I won't cable in the car. I will try to avoid lace. Like this wouldn't be bad. This is just like some easy yarn over pattern, but anything that's like an involved lace project I won't even touch in the car. Specifically if it's in like garter stitch or stockinette stitch, it's perfect. I should probably also point out that I commute with people, so I'm sitting in the back seat knitting, not driving and knitting. Tangent. Okay, back on point, because I don't want this to be gazillions of hours long. That's not really what I'm hoping to do. I just want to do like a project overview, but talking is a thing. Anyways, my brain ain't working. So, okay. So knitting things that I've been doing recently. Let's see. Okay. So this is all folded up and I really don't want to take it apart right now. But this is a sockhead hat, which is a free pattern, I believe, on Ravelry. Designer listed somewhere, either down below on the video, somewhere. I will let you know who designed it. But yeah, this is my hand spun and it's a fractal yarn. It's kind of cool. You can see where it's coming into the orange. The wool for this, it's 100% wool. I don't know the breed of the sheep. And it was a box that I got at a local yarn store. It had like a bunch of different samples of different colors, and they were all the same wool. And it's Mock Chunky by Kramer. I remember that is the people that did the box. When I was spinning this, it felt very coarse, and even like in yarn form it feels very coarse, but like it's not bad. It's actually pretty plush. There was some hemp and there was some like vegetable matter in this particular wool, so it's not anything really soft like a merino. I don't know the breeds very well by what they feel like, but I know it's not merino. But I think it'll be great for a hat. It might be a little bit itchy on the brim, but I'm not super worried. And when I spun this, I named it, it was like Summertime Melon Cooler or something like that, because that sounded good at the time, I guess, and kitschy. It's kind of got some melon colors in it. It's a little bit more pink than I'd usually go for, but winter is coming, it's cold, and I needed a new hat. 'Cause my last one's kind of falling apart, and yeah, it's about time for a new hat. So these are, I think, 2s. DPNs. They're from Knit Picks. They're Pretty in Blue Caspians? I could be wrong on that. But they're nice to work with. I like wooden needles because they're sticky, and because I'm in the car and things like that, I like my yarn to stick to my needles, so that way it doesn't slide off and go all over the place. And this was actually the first yarn that I ever spun that was like an actual yarn and not like falling apart and crap and pieces. So that's kind of cool. I'm really anxious to see how the colors develop. So if you're not familiar with what a fractal is, or a fractal spun yarn, it's where you have large blocks of color in stripes, and then that same block of color repeated smaller in smaller stripes within the big stripes, if that makes sense. So yeah, and this was spun on my old wheel that I no longer have. So I had gotten a wheel on Craigslist, and this lady's husband had built it, and it was a really good wheel, Saxony style, 1 pedal, but it only had 1 ratio, and it was kind of a pain to spin on. It didn't have a good drive band. I was using like a piece of like butcher twine, I think, as the drive band. I ended up selling it to another lady who teaches spinning, that she wanted something people could take home that would get knocked around, and she didn't care if it got knocked around. And so that was a really good fit for her. But yeah, I have this yarn from it, and it's pretty cool because it's like the first real kind of project I finished, I guess, in spinning. It's weird because like I spin, and so I finish a project and it's a finished object, but then I go on to make something else with it, so now it's a work in progress again. And when I plan and spin something from wool and I have like a pattern in mind that I want to knit with it, like I feel good that I finished the spinning, but then I'm like, nah, I have to knit the thing. So it's in this weird like stasis between finished object and not finished object, which is just bizarre to me, but it is what it is. So anyway, sockhead hat. Basically I'm just knitting up until I get close to running out of yarn and I'm going to decrease. And it's going to be slouchy. And it should be warm, and that's pretty much what I wanted. So there's that. Let's see. Sorry about the bending over. Everything is on the floor. Moss dog hair. Okay, so this is like all the string. Okay, so this is a brioche pattern. It is a shawl called Love You Baby, I believe. You as in the sheep you, not you as in you. So Love You Baby. And it's from, I can't think of her name, but I know she's the yarn pimp. So it's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. This is the right side of it, and it will be a 3-color shawl with brioche and short rows. And let's see if, there we go. This, the lighter color is, okay. I'm all over the place. The lighter color is this one. That's pretty. And I know that this is Ancient Arts yarn. I think it's, you know, I don't even know if it's wool nylon blend or if it's just wool. I have no clue. I'm pretty sure that there's a ball band in here. Maybe? There's not. I have no idea. I know this is Eiffel Tower. I know that's the color of it. I've had this for a while, and it was originally allocated for another project. So that's a thing. The other side of this, so the reverse side, is this really pretty green, teal green. And this one, I know this is Mad Color because I can see, or Mad Color Fiber Arts, because I can see this is this tag. And I don't want to pull it out because I don't want the whole thing to collapse. It says machine wash. I can see that, so it must be, I can see it! 80/20 merino nylon, superwash merino. Can I see what color it is? Rogue. I have a name for this one. That's cool. Okay, so this is called Rogue, and I know it's by Mad Color Fiber Arts, and I love this. This was originally allocated with this, and the third one, which is this, to become an exploration station, which is not gonna happen anytime soon. Yeah, counting is a thing with Stephen West projects, and my attention span doesn't work. So yeah, these are the 3 that are going to be in this shawl, and this has been my purse project for a while. Put it all down there. And we are knitting this on, it's written US 5s, which I think the pattern calls for 6s, but this is what I had. So it's on 5s, and these are Addies. I am not a super huge fan. I like my needles to have sharper tips because I like to be able to pick up stitches that I drop. It's very slippery on the metal, which is a pain, and I need to get one of those lag needle holders because I usually just shove this into my bag and take it with me places. And I finally wised up and put a lifeline in after having to rip out so much brioche. It's like ridiculous. This has been on my Instagram, and I know there is a picture of frogging the brioche because I think I'm back to where I was now finally, but I literally had to rip out a chunk like this. I had missed one of the decreases, and it was enough to annoy me, so I had to rip it out. This has been a challenge. I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to knit 2-color brioche, but like once I got my brain around it, it's fine. It's just a very long repeat to get to the amount of stitches to be able to do the next section. So it's taking forever, but it's very squishy, which is what I wanted. I wanted something to be squishy and warm. And so I think that's going to fulfill kind of what I wanted to have happen with it. But it's gonna be a while until we get anywhere on that. Okay, what else in knitting world is going on? It's this one. Okay, so I have this wonderful, wonderful thing with all the ends, all the freaking ends, and we are attached to yarn. Okay, this is not going to show very nicely because I'm like in the middle of a row, but as you can see, it's this thing. There's a bottom to it. That's the wrong side. There's a bottom to it, and there's the middle. You can see it's kind of making the W right there. Try not to lose stitches. Okay, so there's the W. This is the Wonder Woman shawl, and I don't know, this pattern is awesome. The way it's written, it is a free pattern on Ravelry. But there are a ton of ends to weave in, and I don't know, it's really cool though. Sorry, as I sink into this couch and it's kind of straining my back a little bit. That's okay. We'll get this worked out. All the dog hair. More dog hair. Collecting thoughts. Sorry. We're kind of all over the place today. But yeah, so this is the Wonder Woman. I'm knitting the large size. And I love the way the pattern's written. It's written in sections, and actually, because it's a free pattern, I don't feel bad about showing you. But yeah, so this is what it'll look like when it's done. It's not done in the called for yarn, but that's okay. It's done in Knit Picks. This is the Stroll sock, and this is Hollyberry, and the yellow is, oh my god, I'm a hot mess today. This is nuts. Okay. So, Hollyberry, Daffodil, and this is actually a gift for a friend, and so I'm knitting like crazy on it to get it done before Christmas so he can give it to his girlfriend. He asked me back in July if I would knit this for him to give to his girlfriend, and I said yes because you asked me 6 months before Christmas. That's totally cool. I will do this. And it's been going really well. It's actually been a really fast knit. Again, for how I knit, it's a very fast knit, and it'll be nice and warm, and it's superwash wool, which is great. We decided that it was probably better to do something washable for this project, because we determined his girlfriend would probably want to be able to machine wash it and not have to hand wash things. But yeah, it's really cool little short row section that's really clever. I am dreading weaving in all the freaking ends though, because look at this. This is ridiculous. This is freaking ridiculous. There are like ends for all the ends and more ends. Yeah. Lots of ends to weave in. But I am on the last section and I am almost done with this. And so tonight, tomorrow, this week, this is all I'm working on because this needs to get done. But yeah, I will show you all when it's done. It'll be awesome. And I really, really hope the intended person that's getting this loves it. I really think she will. So that is the Wonder Woman. And Why am I attached? Okay, we're attached. This is good. Okay, so last thing, I guess, in the yarn type world of what I do is spin. And I have the current, one of the current projects. One is sleeping in a box right now because I don't really want to look at it. This is one of my current projects that I'm doing. This is what I have on my bobbin right now. And the colors are showing up pretty good. So yeah, I have an Ashford Kiwi too. I love it. I just oiled it, so now it's quiet. And I learned how to shrink a poly band, or like a drive band, and cut it and fuse it, which is awesome because I don't think that was ever done by the previous owners of my wheel. And it kind of sat in my car all summer. I know, it's bad. We're not going to talk about it. But, yeah, so that happened. But I am spinning this yarn. It's going to be awesome. So, some story with this fiber. I love Ziplocs for storing everything, so I apologize in advance for all the crinkles and all the zipping and unzipping noises. Deal with it. Okay. So here's some of the fiber. And this is awesome. So this is wool that I hand dyed myself. And this is actually, this has been a really long process. These are all split down a lot. But you can see there's like a lot of colors in this. So this is a grouping of like all the greens and blues that I did. That looked really good together. And I have one that's like all blacks and grays. And it will have a little bit of pink because something was overdyed that had pink on it. But I can show you that one later. And so my hope is to spin this blue-green, spin the black-gray, and then maybe spin a purple. I can do a purple-pink, and then knit something out of it, something being like a shawl. That would be nice. I had a pattern in mind, but I think it's 4 colors. Don't lick. Don't lick. You have a toy. Go get your toy. Okay. So I was gonna knit this pattern out of it, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called right now. It's like it's not meeting point, vantage point, something. It's really cool. It's like color. It's long, square, big wrap shawl thing. And you like knit a point, and then you knit a point, and then you like knit, and it makes a big X in the middle. It's really cool, but I think it's 4 colors or like 4 skeins. And because this is hand spun, it's not necessarily going to be consistent throughout, which is fine. I mean, like I'm a fairly consistent spinner. Like my singles are usually fairly consistent. This color, there we go. But it won't, it'll probably be a little bit thicker than fingering weight. So I'm hoping, I'm gonna try to find a pattern that I know won't use absolutely everything. But of this, I have roughly 4 ounces of this and roughly 4 ounces of the black. And I should be able to come up with roughly 4 ounces of purple out of this huge bag of wool that I dyed because I had 2 pounds originally, and I've spun some stuff off of it. But yeah, so there's a huge Ziploc of fiber that needs to get spun. So yeah, I was originally gonna do like a sweater. I was gonna do a start to finish sweater where I spun like 2 pounds of fiber. very much underestimated how long that would take me. Even on my new wheel where I can like up the ratios. So I have a couple skeins that are really cool multicolor with the greens and the purples. They're almost fractally, but they're not like planned in the stripes, so they will stripe, but it'll be like colors coming in and out, which I think will look really cool when it's knit up. So I have like a full, what I'm gonna call a 4-ounce skein. I haven't weighed it, but it feels like it's 4 ounces of that. And then I have one that's probably closer to like 2.5. So it's like, hey, other idea, let's try something else. And so I applied that, took it off, and now I'm spinning this. So that's a thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You know what? We'll get to it later because I don't have a time on how long this is, but I'm sure it's long enough. And I'm kind of rambling at this point. Do you want to say goodbye or are you sleeping? You're cute. This is the cute. That's a daisy. Anyways, so I will sign out, say goodbye. Show notes below. I suppose I could make like a Ravelry page. I don't think any sort of platform like that exists for FlossTube. I know a lot of like the FlossTube people have Facebook groups that they're part of, but as far as I know, there's no like forum, pattern collective, Facebook-y type thing like Ravelry exists for the other, like the wool slash knitting, crocheting, loom, etc. fiber world. If there is though, let me know because I'm totally all about that and I will join up. But yeah, so show notes below. You can find me on Instagram. I think I forgot to say that at the beginning, but yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I am the Sacred Fuzzy. I post kind of sporadically, but I exist. Ravelry, my name, I probably should change back to the Sacred Fuzzy. I'm pretty sure I have another name change left on that. But if you want to find me right now, I am Madwoman Spinning on Ravelry. And yeah, you found my YouTube channel, so you know who I am on that. But yeah, it's been good. I'll be back next Saturday, inshallah. I don't know. We'll find out. This is kind of an interesting thought experiment, and yeah, this goodbye has been long enough. Peace.